how much confidence are you guys playing with right now after going into Pitt State and doing what you guys did?
We're confident in ourselves, but we've been telling ourselves that it's just another game. We've got to put our head down and keep working. Just another opportunity to go play again.
Well, I know that you guys are well aware of how good Missouri Western has been in the running game this year. Really good running back, and they've been able to really get some chunk plays and really consistently be a good team in the ground game. What is going to be the key to slowing their running game down?
Yeah, he's a good player. We need to focus on wrapping up, clamping when we're tackling, just really filling all the gaps because he's going to try to bounce it. So that's pretty much it.
Just kind of got to touch upon the running game there, but I guess for you guys, when you come off, I know every game's you try to treat it the same, but when you have a big win on the road, when maybe do you kind of come back and say, okay, put that behind us and just try to focus on the next part?
We have this 24-hour rule, so after we watch the film on Sunday, we forget about it and we move on to the next one.
Yeah. And then just going, how goes you home? How goes it going to be back at home on Saturday?
It's going to feel good. I like playing at home better than I like playing away games.
And then, I guess, not to bring it up, but last year they probably watched the film, remember what happened last year against these guys. Do you take anything from there and try to use anything there, or do you treat this like a separate game?
Yeah, you always remember how the game went last year and try to fix mistakes that you made the year prior, but, it's just another game at the end of the day.
Like,
Thanks.
Landon, how do you keep the excitement up after such a big win like that?
I really don't think you have to try. I think it just is natural after a game like that.
I'm sure preseason it's a game you had circled on the calendar. When you have a stretch here coming up where a team ranked at the top again, it isn't until later in the season. How do you guys stay focused?
Really just taking it one game at a time, not to look too far ahead in the season. Just whoever's in front of us, that's who we're going to go play. Focus on them, prepare for them, and then we'll see what happens.
Oh, Billy, that really appeared to be a physical challenge for you guys, and you got hit a couple of times, limped off, but at the very end of the game, you're the one that gets the last carry. Can you just talk us through the physicality of that Pittsburgh State game?
At running back, I feel like it's always physical every single day. I mean, not every single day, but every single game. So, honestly, I don't think it was anything crazier than what's experienced the previous 2 weeks. Yeah, but I mean, it's always I think it's always still fun though at the end of the day, honestly, the physicality or not.
How at this point in your career, being one of the older players, how does recovery go for you on a week-in, week-out basis?
Oh man, I don't do anything for like 4 days. No, I'm just kidding. Sunday I really try not to do too much other than what we have, post game, and then Mondays are off days, so I usually sit at home for most of the day. We have film, but during practice days, I kind of just, for the most part, I usually try to get my legs back under me, whether it's like contrast, which is hot and cold water tubs. So that's usually what I like to go to the most to get my legs back. Yeah.
Last year, obviously, you guys didn't have your best game in Missouri Western, and this is a new year, a new team, and what happened last year doesn't mean anything. But how much does that play in the back of your mind, and knowing that that a game like that cost what you guys wanted to do in terms of your goals last year? Is there any revenge factor going into that, or is this a completely different team for you guys?
I think naturally it is. I think you just want revenge on any team that beat you the previous year before, no matter what the stakes are or anything. But I think we're just taking this game as just the 1-0 mentality. Head down, keep grinding, and look up when you're done.
Bill, I guess too, kind of what stands out about when you watch them on film, their defense, they're going to face this weekend?
Nothing that I wouldn't say that we haven't seen before. It's kind of the same stuff that we've seen previous years. I like to bring a lot of pressure, just do different things with their D line, which is why they're usually pretty good at TFLs and sacks and stuff. So I think we just have to do a good job up front, and we all have to be on the same page whenever it comes from O-line, quarterbacks, and me myself.
Do you feel, I know now Gunnar's got a couple starts under his belt, for you at the running back spot, do you feel it gets more of a continuity forming within the offense?
Yeah, I mean, we've pretty much all the linemen back I've played with for most of the time I've been here for all eternity. So, so really the only thing changing was just kind of switching in Gunner instead of 10. But I mean, I think that we're meshing the same as we were last year when we had a good season.
I know you're off the big win post that you got 24 hours and you put it behind you. Is that kind of the way you look at it?
Yeah, absolutely. After you do the recovery stuff on Sunday, then games out the back of the mind. You focus whoever your next opponent is.
Landon.
Hey, Billy. Thinking back to that Washburn game to start, there were glimpses of the offense connecting, but it definitely wasn't all the way there yet. You guys were still trying to figure yourselves out. Where are you at in terms of total offense being on the same page together, and then what can we expect going forward?
I feel like we're pretty confident right now, especially after the win on this past Saturday. I think that from all points, O-line, quarterback, me, running backs, receivers, that we're all kind of really getting on the same page. I knew there was going to be some growing pains regardless who was back there. I think we just need that game time experience to really gel perfectly, or as best as we could, I should say.
And how much confidence does it give you, not just beating a team like Pitt State, but to beat that defense? How much confidence does that give the offense?
Definitely a lot. I mean, we've scored. I think really shout out to the defense. So we scored more points before previous years and lost the game. But definitely, I mean, I feel like first half we played really well. So I think there was times where we honestly just felt like unstoppable at points. So I feel like it'd been a while, or not a while. I feel like we hadn't felt like that in the last 2 weeks yet. And then we finally kind of righted the ship on Saturday.
Awesome. Thanks, Billy.
Hey, talk real quick about that offensive line, because you had 2 starters to go down. You didn't have before. Just how you have depth at that line.
Yeah, I mean, Brody came in, did a great job. In his first start, especially coming in that type of situation. But even then, the backups behind J-Rob, yeah, they've played plenty of football here. So I have faith in Coach Cash, whoever he puts out there, that they'll go out there and do their job.
Well, you to come in and get a win like that in that kind of environment, can you just kind of take us through the feelings after the game, celebrating with the guys in the locker room?
Yeah, it was one of those things. It's like that's why you play football, and like that's why you play the sport. And so for us to all experience that moment and see the emotions after the game, like even players with players and players with coaches, something that you usually don't see on the everyday basis, was awesome. And to experience a whole moment like that was awesome. Something that I think we won't ever forget. Just like just individually, all the players and coaches, and just had a lot of meaning to this game. And to get a win at their place, which is a very hard place to play, tough team, really talented team, it was a awesome experience.
I wanted to get your perspective as a Division I athlete transferring down to Division II. You've seen a lot of really good players at Oklahoma State, I'm sure. Can you talk us through how good Tyler Common is, coming and seeing the things that he's done for you in this 3-game span?
Yeah, TK is unbelievable. He's very talented, very smart player. And I've been around a lot of good players, and I think TK is up there with all of them. I really do. Just the way he surrounds the game, he's involved all the time. Outside of football, he's always thinking about football. He is. He's always thinking about ways to, get better and to improve. Even he's had so much success here. He's proved so much, and to see him not really, let that, get to his head. He's always pushing us, pushing himself. So just a, person that you want to have on your team and that you can trust very much so going into, every game.
Gunnar, I guess what stands out about Missouri Western's defense when you watch them on film this week?
they're a good team. You know, they've really good athletes, and I think they've proved that. They're 2-1, so they've won 2 big games, and so they've gone against 3 good teams. So they're a good team. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to be in the right place at the right time. They're coached well, and so this week we have to be sharp and on point, because we're coming off a big win, and this is times where you can kind of gain too much confidence, or maybe not prepare the exact same way, and so we have to really focus in, because this is a pretty good team coming in.
I know you weren't here last year, but was there any extra? I know these guys won this game last year. Is there any maybe talking about that from the guys who were here last year that you noticed, or you just try to treat it like another game?
Yeah, there has been a little sore spot for some people who were here last year who have kind of filled me in on everything, but we try to treat every week as just going 1-0 against whoever that may be, and so putting that focus kind of on just having the process oriented approach is, I think, very important for us this week.
How good? Billy had a good game. How good was it? You like to run the ball a little bit too, and him just kind of get the running.
Oh yeah, to see Billy get going was awesome. The O-line played great. They played unbelievable. Did what they were supposed to do, and it showed. And then Billy, he's a really good running back. There's even times where he turned some negative plays into positive gains. So it's awesome having Billy back there. He's been here for a long time. He knows Emporia State football. He's played a lot of ball. So he's a great person to have back there, and definitely helps my confidence going into games.
Landon?
Hey Gunnar, how much did it build your confidence playing against a great defense like Pitt State has?
It's big, because like you said, they're a really good defense. They're coached well, and they've proven that for the past 2-3 years that they've been a powerhouse in the MIAA, and so to go get that win there was awesome for us, because there's a lot of people here who have emotional ties to to that game like any other school does, and so to do that, to just share the moment like I talked about with all the guys was what I thought was the most important thing, and just to see all the hard work pay off for a big win like that was really something cool.
As an offense, how close are you guys to gelling all the way?
I think we are close, and it gets, I think it gets better week by week. The more experience reps you have, the better ultimately. But getting these first 3 games against a good team and to finally see some progress and starting off fast and stuff has been awesome for us. And so that's what we're harping on this week, is still continuing to try to start fast and not put as much pressure on the defense, which they've been playing lights out for 3 games. So I think just to get an overall game, to get a full complete game, offense and defensively, and on all 3 areas of the ball. So I think that's big for us moving down the road, especially.
Thanks, Gunnar.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Learn about your team when they go and get a win like that.
Well, first off, I think we're a good team. I think that tough team, playing with a lot of confidence, resilience, are the things that come to mind.
You guys have been working in practice, and certainly against Pittsburgh State, against a really good rush defense, established your own running game. What are the things that allow you to do that against Pittsburgh State, and how do you keep that part of your offense moving forward?
Well, I think for us is just everything's been a little bit of a progress for us offensively, and I think just bringing along a brand new starter at quarterback, and sometimes that can at times affect the run game. But we got it going. We got it going Saturday night, which was good. We were able to effectively run the football, and we had some guys that wasn't our full strength offensive line, and that's the thing that really pleases me and gets makes me excited about, as far as just seeing us continue to get better. I think in all phases, but in all positions, what you want to see is you want to see improvement each week and making sure guys are understanding what we're doing schematically, fundamentally, and being able to put that on film and then get better each week. And that's what I see from those guys up front.
Well, they've got a lot of good guys up front as well. They've been one of the best running football teams in the league. What kind of challenges are they going to pose your defense?
Well, I mean, it's kind of what we've went into the last, our last 3 weeks is and you're exactly right. They have a big offensive line, a good offensive line. They have an outstanding back. To me, probably one of, or if not the best running back in the league. Very talented, a veteran running back. We're going to have to do a good job of tackling. That's something that we continue to stress each week. And again, that's something that I look at and feel like that we're getting better at that too as well.
Coach, I know you have the 24-hour rule after turn the page, but after a big win like that, was there anything extra after the game, or is it just celebrate a win and just put it behind you?
Yeah, we probably stayed out of the locker room extra time to, players to visit with their families, and, we're a little louder in the locker room after that win. But besides that, it was, again, our expectation level here in our football program is to win games like that. And we've won a lot of big games here. I mean, we're 21-6 just for the past 2 years. But we've done a lot, like I said, we've won a lot of big games. So, but it was, so that's really about it. Just kind of celebrate a little bit longer than what we regularly do.
And this week, I know last year's in the past, but you remember the game last year. Is there anything extra to that when you're looking at film for this game? Do you guys remember that, or do you just try to treat this year's game like it's its own game?
Yeah, I think, it's its own game, and this is a different storyline. I mean, what happened last year doesn't guarantee anything this year. You got to go out in this league and you got to go play, and you got to be ready to play, and don't think it's going to happen just because they beat us last year. I mean, our guys know. I don't have to tell them, and they remember how they felt in that locker room, the guys that were here after that game, how everybody felt. So, I don't think I really need to see or say anything. Plus, again, we've been out. I mean, it's just 1 week at a time, but we've lost some games. I feel like that, close games that have cost us at times. So to me, that's where us as coaches, we got to make sure our guys are ready to play, and then also our veteran leadership too as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Landon,
Coach, in a roundabout way, do you enjoy that there's some extra adversity this week with that loss last year, so you don't have a trap game coming off such a big win?
Trap game. I knew that word was coming. I was waiting for somebody to use it. But that's a really good question. I think that's definitely something that will keep your mind focused on what it needs. Our players, what they need to focus on, which is winning this football game and coming down from that high that we had Saturday night and getting back locked in. And yes, because this team did beat us last year. But like I said, just because they did doesn't mean, the revenge factor is going to happen and we're going to get a win and all that. We still, and we've had a good week of practice. We still got to be ready to play. We got to go out and execute, bottom line, on both sides of the football. And we got to play well in special teams, win the turnover battle, all those things to go and get a W.
How awesome is your defense playing right now? Because you guys are winning through them, and in years past it was a battle
right.
to run up the.
No question, and I've said this in previous interviews that I've been doing this a long time, and you win championships with defense, and we have, offensively we've scored a lot of points around here, and we feel like we're going to, offensively we're going to get going. We're slowly getting better. But I can't be prouder to say that our defense is leading us right now. I think that is, if you'd have told me I'd have been saying that at the beginning of the year, I would be all for it, and I am all for it. So those guys have continued to play well, and they need to. And this is one thing too, they got to continue to play well. It's like I told the team, I mean, let's block out all the noise and just put the earmuffs on and not listen to, we're getting pats on the back right now. And we've only played 3 games. We haven't done anything, so both sides of the football, special teams, everybody, we got to continue to get better.
Love to fire up, Coach.
I know, I got a little fired up right there. Thanks, I appreciate that.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Earmuffs and blinders are back on now.
That's right. It is back on, earmuffs and blinders. That's exactly right.
Hey, real quick, just talk a little bit about your offensive line. Have to go through there, 2 guys down.
Yeah, I just think that says a lot about our team, and it's the next up, next man up mentality. I think we've gone through that before, but to have somebody like Brody Leach step up after our starting center, which, again, it's not like we're just getting snaps under the center, all right? You got to take shotgun snaps, and to have a redshirt freshman come in and play the way that he did in the jungle is huge. And, and then to have some other guys step up on the offensive line, I think and they're very well coached. Coach Castro does a great job with those guys. There's no question. And those guys are gaining confidence. And we know, they know, I've said this, that's where it starts. It starts in the trenches, and it starts in the trenches on both sides of the football.